Yeah, go ahead. I'm just gonna record it. At
Yeah.
least
I missed the first few minutes of Mike's share. Like I caught the very end of it. And what I'm really curious and hoping to get out from you guys is what have you seen, what have you been able to do for making the tie into SFM and trying to monetize your passion into it? Because I've been using the skills from my other passions, but to actually get the community that I resonate with, that I would hang out with for free and, look at, I've kind of put that on the back burner while I've been doing all this marketing stuff. And I'm really, at the end of the day, that's my ultimate goal is when I'm, free from my 9 to 5 and I'm doing this type of stuff, I want to be able to tap into those communities.
that's
But
it.
I feel like I should be tapping into them now.
I'm just gonna. That's it. You know exactly where to cut. It's actually there to cut. You see, you're trying to say, well, in the future, when everything is set, I'll enjoy that thing. But let the switch that happened was the passion. Passionate is not something you find; it's something you live. You see, what is a lot of people that reach out to me like, I don't really know what is my passion. And when I asked him to Matt, he was able to really pinpoint it like in a second. Well, I love exotic cars. Oh, so after that, it was easy to really get the transition. It's like you, Mark. I don't know you a lot, but so far you are into music. You are into getting fit and healthy. You into your family. So you see, you got all those things that are really passionate, and I'm sure you got enough energy to play with your kid. You got always energy to go play with your friends and in a band. I'm sure it's 3 in the morning and say, let's just one last, and you're jamming, right? I'm sure of it. You can't have that, right? And that's a twitch that we couldn't make it happen until it was to realize that was it. You don't need, like, you see, we all pretty much think 1 year in, right now. And Tracy, you're about 1 year.
September, yeah, September. So
still fairly, yeah. And Mark, about 1 year and some as well.
Yeah, I joined in April.
So we all pretty much in a 1 year kind of a journey, kind of close. We have been here. We mastered the skills, which are not that hard to figure out. But what was missing out is that I hate doing marketing. To be honest, I hate doing the marketing. Like, okay, today I'm going to explain you how to do a Facebook ad. Yeah. It's really passionate. I'm so passionate about Facebook ad. No, you don't. I'm not. So that was the switch. So I don't know, Matt, if you want to add something, like what was your experience in that twitch that happened when we started talking about, well, let's do it with Mark. Let's do the exercise with Mark. Let's try to make it. And if we have time, because I have only 40 minutes, after that I have to reset the call because it's a free account.
Yeah, you just come back in, yeah. All right.
So let's do it with Mark. So what is your passion?
Well, one of the big passions for me is songwriting. And there's a songwriting entrepreneur group that I've been on the peripheral with, but I haven't really submerged myself into that community because, I guess there's blockages within me when it comes to songwriting stuff, that because I haven't had a song cut and a success of source of income with that, I feel like it's kind of like, well, I'm doing stuff with it. I have my music maintained. I have a website out there, but I don't want to spend what limited free time I have messing with that when there's this whole SFM community that, I feel like I don't plug into as often as I would like, or the training as often as I would. And that I need to focus on this because this is where, I'm going to get more bang for my buck and my time return and get me more financially free faster from my day job, which takes away from both the songwriting and SFM, so that's kind of been my, juggling the balance between that. But I feel like there's a whole community of songwriters who don't know how to market their songs, just like I didn't, that could benefit from this educational service.
So you just tapped into it, right? You see, your passion is not marketing. It's not creating websites or things like that. Your passion is about talking about music. So talk about music. And that's the twitch that you can just make it happen right now. Like imagine how many, like for me, like it was the idea, like if I could offer you this, is that I realized that how many people right now in our life that we know that would love to have the freedom and flexibility to be there for their kid doing homework at night, or you know what I mean, and doing kite surfing and whatever it's windy, or skiing when there's snow, there's biking when it's sunny, you know what I mean. We have that twitch, and you said it right. You want to be in that group of people, and you pretty much you're narrowed down to songwriters, like parents that are songwriter that have it as a hobby but never really push through to make it happen. So how do you cope with this? So that's the kind of your journey of your video, right? Or where you go say and you go tell people, or pretty much say, oh, this is the way I was able to really live into my passion. So you're sharing like, okay, this is the software I use for my music because I really love to do this, and also it's cut the time in half, so I got the opportunity to do this, and also to be able to broadcast my my video or my music and let know artists that, because I don't want to sing it, maybe I just want to write it, you know what I mean? And so this is where I was able to broadcast, creating those websites. And you see, you tied it to the marketing, but without never talking about the marketing. You know, the marketing it's easy when you're an entrepreneur to learn technical skills. It's like going to school, right? Everyone, like, I was able to learn English. And I've been told my whole entire life that English was hard to learn.
Yes.
It's hard to learn until you pretty much you put your head inside and you say, I'm going to chat with people. Until you do it, it doesn't really, it's a no-brainer. But once you start learning a new language, it's the same thing. So you have that twitch of, you need to really feel it when you're writing something or you're composing something. You need to be, when you're writing song, you're just excited, right? You're like, oh, and it's gonna just, you have the song in your head and everything, and like that's what you can share and make people like you want to, okay, learn more about how can I market this on Facebook. Oh, this is what I was able to do. And after that, you say, well, you see, I find that girl that made the wake up call, the wake up call song, the Irene wake up call song, like that you wrote. Like, I was able to find that girl. Example, I don't know how do you find it, but you can share how you were able to find that artist, or how you were able to match artists and songwriter together, and how, you know what I mean? Then now you got the how, which a lot of people are looking at how-tos, like on YouTube. So you got that how-tos, and you got chance that people will really attach to, see, oh, I love that guy. I love his song, and I love what his value are. Like, you're not doing this for the money. And even it's going to pay you a lot more if you do it this way, because the people that's going to be attracted to you are alike, right? So it's just going to make that, I'm pretty sure it's making that twist. And that was the same with Matt.
Yeah, and I want to add to that as well too. Like, you also want to harness that energy. Just harness the energy of what you're passionate about. Not necessarily like and what like Mike is saying, like that is a really valid point. You can leverage that, and then you can like tie it into people that are like songwriters and want to do that, but also want to have more time because maybe they're working a full-time job right now, but they wish they had more time to do songwriting. So this could be a solution for that as well too. So you're tying in your passions, you're tying in that story, but you're also tying in the fact that, hey, you know what, the SFM could provide you an income to free yourself from a full-time job, allowing you to have more time, flexibility to do that, to do more songwriting, and maybe they have a family and they want to spend more time with their kids. So you tie all that story in together, and then you harness that energy, right? Just putting yourself in the state of mind that, when, you know what, like when you're doing something you're passionate about or thinking about something you're passionate about, what's the energy that you feel on the inside, like how you feel on the inside, and then tap into that, just leverage that. Doesn't necessarily need that you are talking about that specifically, that subject that you're passionate about, but just harness that energy, right? And just harness it in your message. Just kind of like, you know, Mike was saying, it's like, you know, yeah, I'm passionate about exotic cars. I'm passionate about, it's something that I always love. It's just like, I think the first thing I ever loved was just my Hot Wheels, man. Like, I mean, just having a Lamborghini and little Lamborghini, that's all I played around. As long as I had that, I was happy. And it was just something that stayed with me. But it doesn't necessarily mean like I can use it in my message, but I don't necessarily need to use it in my message. However, I can just kind of like tap into that passion. Like, what am I passionate about? And then you're just kind of like, okay, I love cars. And then I think about cars, and I'm just kind of like surrounding with that, just in my mind and in how I feel in that, and then kind of like get into the message of what I'm trying to share, right? And then you tap into all the pain points, you tap in, you know, your story and everything like that, and then you tie it into what that solution brings, what this SFM brings as a solution to people's problems, right? So that's one of the things that I caught is really just leveraging that energy and tapping into it.
And I think I've had a taste of that with you know, and in getting into flow too with the smoothies, that when I started really getting a lot of success losing weight by drinking 5 of them a day when I was doing the juicing cleanse, that I was like, well, you know, losing this much weight in 10 days, you know, let me capture how I did it. And then I could share that out for free as value to others. And so it's just an additional thing that, you know, even that's just kind of out there. But I could even take that another step further, because I created an Amazon affiliate account. So then I could embed those same products that I used, so that people, when they read the guide, it's, if rather than them having to try to track it all down, if they do want to use those same products, they can hyperlink and then I get the commission. And it's just something that it's been a kind of in the peripherals, like, oh, you know, I can make added income that way. Maybe that would help towards budgeting my, you know, YouTube adverts but it's just one of those things that's like, okay, I push, you know, that's creative, but I'm not pushing it as a primary focus, because I'm like, all right, I've got a video that's getting me leads. Now I need to find an audience that it resonates with the most. And so I'm like more in, I guess, I'm trying to meditate more before I do anything too, so that I'm more taking the natural energy that whatever's inspired through meditation. So that's kind of new to me with this whole thing, and plugging into Abraham Hicks and really feeling good about something before I do it. That's why when you, Matt, when you try to message me right after the thing, usually I record a message right after while I'm feeling at my best, you know, kind of capture that. And I was in the process of doing a video for, and so that's kind of like, I mean, I think I touch into what you guys are saying now periodically, but I don't know. I'm not like making it as a primary focus.
Right. And
here's a question.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
can I go ahead? Yeah, okay. I just wanted to ask one question for you, Mark, and something that Mike asked me that helped me out is, like if you could do, like if you had the full day to yourself today, right, and there would be no limitations whatsoever, you know, no limitation as far as time, as far as money, as far as whatever it is, what would you do?
You know, today what I would do, my primary focus, I would be on a plane flying my ass over to Lady Gaga's studio, getting in the studio with her, you know, like, so that's been my main focus on energy wise, is like how I can connect with Lady Gaga and co-write with my songs, because I feel like I don't really want my music, I don't want to do it with anyone else. For some reason, she inspired me to do songwriting again last year when I saw her do A Million Reasons as one of the halftime show for the Super Bowl. And I feel like if I could have that accomplished, because it's so grandiose, it's so like improbable, that I could inspire so many people and my daughter to be like, wow, look at, you know, I truly believe in the quality of my ideas and my lyrics that are something of value for her, and that I feel like she has something that I need. She has the voice and the musical you know, persona to have that music get shared to the widest audience possible. And so I have fresh ideas and fresh lyrics that she may never have been inspired to write herself, from my own unique perspective. So that's what I would be doing today, is that I would be, you know, in a studio with her and saying, hey, let's get this music done, you know, and so that comes to mind.
There's one factor there that it's outside of your power.
Yeah.
Right. So you can only do the things that are you, right? It's hard to manage someone else's agenda or something like that, because she's interested to meet you, she might not be interested to meet you today. And
Yeah.
that's the twitch also, to not limit yourself in one linear path. And I was talking with that because, for Matt example, he was thinking like, okay, I would like to buy a Lamborghini. And I'm like, okay, fine. But his thought process was, I'll be working, put like some money aside, and at some point buy the car, and I will drive it after that. And I'm like, okay, fine. But what was the actual possibility that you have in your right now in your life to actually live this passion? His passion is to drive exotic car. Well, he said, well, you could actually rent one. You could actually go drive one at a salesperson. You could actually go some other place and try those cars out, and just, how does it feel? How does it think? And he came out with a great idea. He says, hey, I'm leaving to Florida in like 2 weeks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks.
For the first weekend of March, yeah.
Yeah, because here right now it's snow. So for Lamborghini, it's like not that much. And the road in Quebec or in Ontario is like not so great for Lamborghini. That's really low, right? And so I said, well, you could rent one there. And he's like, yeah. And actually, and it's giving him that energy. I'm like, man, I don't care if it costs $600 a day. You're living through your passion, and it's just gonna help you keep driving that energy and just narrow it down. Like for me, I'm leaving in 4 days for Mexico for a surf camp with my kids and wife. And like, it's awesome. Hey, I'm 32 years old. I'm working from home. I don't make a dime, but I'm enjoying life to a level that I've never done in my life. I'm feeling great. And I know I know money can come as easy as that, right? It's never been about money. It's about how you feel about money. It's this big switch that just happened when you do that. And that's why, like, if you live a bit of your passion each and every day and get you to that level, because you have that, like, Matt, I want to co-write for Lady Gaga, right? And that's kind of, okay, I'm going to write song and she's going to sing it. You know what I mean? It's that linear path. But there's, well, you're in 3D, right? So you got all those possibilities around you right now at the same moment in 3D direction. So you can go write a song for that girl that is in the bar, and she's like, hey, can you help me write my song? Or can you help me rephrase those songs? And you know what I mean? And you just would provide value, and you would get that attachment with people and that connection, and you become a better writer in it. You know what I mean? And it would maybe bring you to Lady Gaga, because if it's your focus, you're just going to keep growing towards that connection with her. But it's just not. And that was my big mistake in life. I was always linear path. I would go through all the steps, even doing a recipe. I'm not going out of what need to be put in there. It's gonna be it. And I'm doing the morning routine and the coffee bulletproof kind of coffee in the morning. Well, it tastes like beep, 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 beep. So I decided to just make it a bit more flavorful. Anyway,
yeah.
Better taste. And so, so I decided to just change it up. You're not fixed. And the time you always have all those possibilities.
Funny. It's funny that you say that with the that's what happened with the juicing. You know, it was like I tried juicing for one day, and then I was like, I got to do it my way, and I ended up going with smoothies. Yeah. And then I was like, I still have to do it my way, and I added flavored protein powder and half a 5-hour energy drink, so I can continue to have caffeine, and they taste delicious, and they're, you know, but yeah, as far as like, I agree like 100%, and I honestly think that that's how it is. It's like you have to get yourself into that frequency, into that energy flow, and so I've been doing that more and more the last few weeks with Lady Gaga. You know, like if there's something that's musically touches me, and I feel like if I'm attracting something into my life, I'll explore into it. And so yesterday was the first time in a long time that the music publisher I work with in Texas I read one of his emails, and he put out that he was pitching to Keith Urban, country singer. And so over this last year, I haven't been pitching any music through that because I hadn't had any success in the past. And my mind has only been on, hey, I'm saving my songs for Lady Gaga. And I thought, you know what? There's one song that I like the male version more than the female version, and it's not even in the top 6 that I would send to her, you know? So I was like, screw it. I'm going to just throw it out there. And maybe by getting a song cut by Keith Urban or someone within his organization hears it, you know, that's how I get to Lady Gaga. I don't know. You know, maybe I have to have some other success or momentum before then. And then as far as like sharing, I haven't even told this to anybody. I don't even think I told my wife this.
It's gonna be on YouTube later on today.
When we had our movers, they were helping us move my in-laws' furniture. One of the guys, he was really starting to get into songwriting, so I was giving him tips like record yourself instead of writing it down because you're editing instead of creating. You know, you're getting out of your flow. But when you just record yourself, even on your cell phone. And then he mentioned how he wanted a banjo for Christmas. Well, I had my banjo in the warehouse, and I had gotten lessons before, but I never followed through. And I thought if I ever do an instrument, it's probably going to be guitar if my daughter gets into guitar lessons, and we could do it as a daddy-daughter bonding thing, and that'll be more, I'll be doing it for her more than for myself. So I just had this inspiration that, hey, give this guy your banjo. It's going to get more use for him, you know, and let him just have it, you know? And so I gave him my banjo. And one of the things I do in the morning and at night, and I've mentioned this in my videos, is that from the Napoleon Hill mindset of like expressing gratitude for those things that are on my forefront. One of the things is sharing my music with the world and helping other songwriters to learn how to improve their skills and achieve their dreams. And so I felt like that was in line with that. Hey, I'm giving this guy the banjo, I'm giving him some tips. So I felt authentic when I say it in the mirror that I've had some examples of sharing things like that with my weight loss journey. Members of our community are doing the smoothie thing too, and of having success. So hearing those stories and being able to, it's like it doesn't feel like you're full of shit basically when you're looking in the mirror and you're telling yourself that, because you have some examples that are recent, even if they're smaller ones or not quite what you thought they were going to be, you know, for what you know, had in mind of how things had to flow. So yeah, I think you're right. You know, the car thing and other examples is that the more you compile things that are in line with that, you're going to get momentum. Like I started watching Lady Gaga's documentary yesterday. I'm listening to the songs that I recorded for her and the song that I like the most on repeat. So it mixes in my brain that, hey, maybe she's already singing my songs, you know, and you just start hearing it. You know what I mean? You know, you start feeling like, okay, Lady Gaga, your song, Lady Gaga, your song, Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga. All these are her songs, you know? I don't know, like, but yeah, I don't know. So sorry, just ranting, just, you know, wanted to get that out.
No. What I'm seeing right here now is that you are right there in flow. Like I can see it. I can see like you're speaking like with flow. Everything is coming out naturally for you. It's easy for you, and I can see that right there. And that's that flow there that you want to harness when you're doing, you know, a video or tapping into like and trying to like, you know, bring in that, I guess, you know, the SFM there, right? So,
and can I
had some.
Yeah, I'm just gonna share my screen for a second. Okay, so you see my you see.
Oh, what the other thing that I wanted to say as well too, Mark, is exactly that is to feel like you're already achieving what is it that you're achieving, and you just said it there. You know, you're feeling like Lady Gaga is singing that song, right? So feel like you already have that right now in this present moment. And when you feel that, that's where you harness that energy.
I just wanted to point out one thing. Okay, you see this business here, Boyo Beautiful. Yeah, Boho Beautiful. Okay, the girl is pretty good and she's pretty nice and everything. But look at the number of views in days, in weeks, in 2 weeks, and we talk about like 61K. We talk about 117K people like in 4 weeks. Okay, and that's what I wanted to bring. She's just sharing their old passion, right? They're sharing their vegan people. They're doing their lifestyle. So they have the healthy video, they have the yoga video, they have the travel video kind of. And that's what I wanted to point out. They're not pointing out to make money out of it. They're bringing people to their website with organic, only organic. Imagine 30,000 people look at their video daily kind of, and it's organic. It's amazing. So you see, by sharing a real passion, and when you hear her talk about food and things like that, it's healthy without the fluff, without, oh, you need to buy that product, that's which, because they're kind of a peace and love kind of people, right? So they kind of travel all around. They try to eat whatever they can find as healthy as possible, as less modified as possible, things like that, right? And they just go through that process. And it's the same thing with your song, you know what I mean? If you could have like, because you're sharing tips of writing song and how you get yourself passionate about writing a song and how you keep yourself in flow and energy and be with your kid at the same time, and you share how you got from 300 pounds to 200 pounds, like, you know what I mean? It's awesome. You know what I mean? And that's the twitch. And if you make 20,000 people look at your video daily, whatever you're doing as a business, you're gonna attract a lot of people, a lot of attention, a lot of audience, a lot of everything. So in this way, you know what I mean? That linear path is gonna be exponential. And that's the key point, I think. And it's funny because I didn't have any success on SFM, and I say it out loud but I never was able to express myself on the video because it was not me. I was trying to fit in that marketing thing. So, you know, I mean, that twitch. So if you go songwriting and you say, hey, you see that guy, I give him my banjo, and he, two years after, he's sending you a video of him playing the banjo and like playing like, hey, thanks, Mark. You know what I mean? You got something else. You have provided value to a point where it just energized people. You see that, like that video, like I've been on high, really high for days now. I'm not taking drugs, you guys, but it's just that passionate things that just get in.
And that's what made it clear for me as well too, when they're talking about like how sometimes they say, okay, well, tap in your passions and then get involved with all these other communities and like having your own channel, or maybe you go into like forums and things like that it's all about that, and you start contributing there. And then that's when they're like, okay, then you're sharing what is it, you're sharing your passions and things like that. And then now they're like, oh, well, who's this Mark Goujon guy here? And then they start clicking through and they start seeing what else that you do, what else that you offer. And that's when they can come across and say, oh, okay, he's involved here, he's involved there. I enjoy his stuff. You know what? I want to learn more about Mark Goujon, and I want to learn why he is where he is and why, so that's where it lines it all up. So, and that's when I had the conversation with Mike, when I reflected on that afterwards, that's what I realized, is that's what they mean about that, is getting involved with all these different communities, just to bring that attention to you, and people interested in what you have to talk about.
So I joined a Devon Rex as a type of cat community, because at one point we're thinking about getting rid of our cat Rusty, because my daughter has allergies and we hadn't had him for very long. And so I was posting, but then we decided to keep him, and I was posting some pictures and stuff there. And then I was doing some ads featuring Rusty, and I pushed one out to that community just to see spend more time with your cat, and your family and things. And the people on there are like, we don't want to get rich schemes here, and they're making other members feel uncomfortable. I was like, all right, well, screw you guys. I was like, I'm not posting anymore here, thinking. But anyway, I think there's probably a fine line of how you can go about doing it. But yeah, and even though music right now is a big part for me personally, this Lady Gaga dream is just getting more and more momentum. There are other things, and I've mentioned this to you in Canada, Matt, with my interest with the electric universe and a lot of fringe science type of things and different theories out there. That's what I was like drinking like Kool-Aid on YouTube for like a year before I started getting into the more of the self-help and trying to, you know, turn my weight loss around and get out of my funk and stuff. And I know that's where I see myself as something I want to build towards, is being able to get into that, tap into that fringe kind of community and those type of forums. So I guess I just need to start exploring those interests already that I'm already interested in, as part of at least my daily, you know, feed of things that I consume, just so I stay plugged into, you know, that dormant kind of interest and not neglect it as like, oh, someday. And, you know, like you guys said, start, you know, at the very least tapping into it periodically so that I'm staying true to that interest.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, finding the inspiration to how it can be monetized and tied into SFM and other, you know, interest items. So
it's really a stepping stone. Like I see SFM as a real stepping stone. That's it. It was meant to bring you to there, and it's giving you to right now, and it's giving you also the possibility to go forward with it, but it's also giving you to be able to expand, really to get to that things that really get you involved in life and get you like passionate and willing to really go forward with whatever idea you have. You just learn great skills, got in touch with like-minded people. You know what I mean? It just gets you to a point where okay, now I'm ready to shine, because we weren't ready to shine. Like you said, you were drinking Kool-Aid, like on watching YouTube. That's far from being ready to shine. You know what I mean? And now you're ready to shine. You know what I mean? You're ready to. Would you be comfortable? Like it was a year ago almost, right? So to go see Lady Gaga and say, "Hey, this is my song. I would love for you to sing it." Maybe not. Maybe now you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna rock it." Different.
Yeah, I think it is a more of a confidence thing too, and I don't think anybody joins SFM to be like, hey, I want to promote SFM. I think you fall in love with the community, you know, and the services that it can provide, and the way that it can help people to achieve their dreams, because you can see that in others and what it's doing for yourself. And I think that's why I, you know, my breakthrough and or sharing how I'm using the skills for my wife's businesses, because that's why I joined, was like that I'm using this for music and for my wife's business is why I wanted to learn how to do marketing. And and I think that, you know, that's one of the things is that when we first get into it and you're like, you start looking at the dollar signs, like, well, there's more money to be earned if I promote SFM and use that as I earn and learn. But at some point you do have to start saying, okay, I've learned, and I'm like, now I have campaigns that are running and doing SFM promotion, but I have to then say, all right, now use those same skills and start doing what you're truly passionate about. And they can go parallel. It doesn't have to be one versus the other. So I think I appreciate you guys sharing that with the group today and taking the time to do the secondary call here to kind of reaffirm that, and I don't know, give me the self permission to, you know, lean into that more and more and more as we go forward, you know, with this. So, and Tracy, you know, I feel like we have not, you know, been monopolizing the discussion. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm just gonna tell you, we'll be shot in like 3 minutes. So if you want, guys, we can just I send you all a link on Facebook. So if you have time, we can just jump on the other link. So we got another 40 minutes with Tracy. So this way we got kind of a both. So because if she start talking and sharing, like we'll be like cut in like in a minute and some now. So do you guys want to jump on the other one? Sure. If you have time. If you don't, like I do understand. Like it's.
I want to hear from Tracy before I head back into work. Okay. I've been out here for a while.
Thanks for recording, and I'll see you on the next call.
Okay.